Hi, happy Wednesday, everybody. I'll try to keep this video nice and short for you. Today, I'm going to talk about another quantum healing hypnosis technique session that I had. It was in September of 2023. And this particular person came to me and they were having relationship issues and they brought a bunch of questions for me and they actually typed them up on their laptop in like Microsoft Word or Notepad, and so they could just delete it and erase it after. So there was no evidence. And so I allowed this, and we brought the laptop into the session. And I was referring to this um, when we got to the part of the session where the higher self comes through, and we were asking the questions. So before that, she had actually no past life experience. She visited snippets of her current life, and it had things to do with the issues that she had in her relationship. And sometimes that's perfectly normal. Not everybody sees a past life. A lot of times, for people, it's not necessary anymore. A lot of us aren't carrying karma from past lives. Some still are. And for some people, it's still really fun to explore there, and the higher self will take people there. But I'm finding a lot of clients just visiting parts of their current life to resolve any issues that they're currently having, which is really good. That means you've cleared a lot of your karma from other lifetimes, and you just have to worry about the karma in this life. So you're doing really well if that's what happens. So we visit snippets of this life, and it was really interesting because she had her laptop there. And so I'm just kind of like looking up at the laptop and then, looking back at my client, making sure everything's going well. And twice, I think it was, the laptop turned off, said it needed to restart. We didn't need to update anything. It was plugged in. There was no other issues that had told me about. There was nothing wrong with the laptop. And then the second time, it showed a sad face on the screen, and then turned off and would not turn back on. Like I couldn't get the laptop to turn back on. It was plugged in, power button wasn't. It was like non-responsive. So I asked the higher self. I said, "Are you doing that?" And it said yes. And it told me to stop looking at the questions the client came with and to use my intuition and go with my gut and ask questions based on that, based off my interaction with the client, what my intuition was telling me. Because this is when I was first starting out. And this is one of my free sessions, my practice sessions at this point. And the session went beautifully after that. And the higher self actually knew what I was going to ask before I asked it. And it showed me this because but I would think of the question I was going to ask, and before I could ask it, it would answer it. For example, one of the things was that this client had something going on inside their body, and the higher self said the client doesn't know this is going on, but there's something in there that is holding on to trauma and it needs surgically removed. I'm just going to like refer to it here real quick. Um, Yes. And I was about to say, well, could it provide complete healing for it instead? And it said, before he even asked that question, it was like, no, she doesn't need complete healing for it. She needs to have it removed. That's the best way for her to release that trauma. That's her way of like physically knowing it's gone. So I thought that was really interesting. And I also, with this particular client, was made more aware of how the energy flows through me. I felt when I relaxed my body, opened up, kind of my arms, my chest, and it wasn't so like, hunched in, leaning into it, the experience. The energy flowed through better, and I had a better connection with my client, and my client had a better connection with their higher self. So it was really interesting to see how energy, and I guess, yeah, energies, frequencies, beings from outside of what we can see can really have an effect on our electronic devices. And we are also electric as well. And how we conduct ourselves can also have an impact on the interaction we have with other people. And when we make a choice, like we do in a QHHT session, to hold sacred space together, how we hold and conduct ourselves really affects the conduit, the channel that we create and what we can access out of that. So I thought that was really fascinating. So I thought I would just share that with you. Any thoughts or comments, please put them below. Have a great Wednesday.